welcome to day 6 of the core strength challenge, and today we'll be working on the hip flexors, mainly looking at the psoas, which is the muscle that connects your spine to your hip and to your leg, so it's a very important muscle for stability. And we'll also be working a little bit on the QL muscle, which is the muscle that runs down each side of the body, and it's responsible for the movements where we move side to side, and it tends to get quite tight for most people, so we'll do a little bit to stretch and strengthen that muscle as well. So we'll start in a child's pose. So you just bringing your feet together, hips come towards the heels. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can always put some padding behind the shins of the legs. And then just bring your forehead down to the ground, arms out in front. The hips can be a little bit more raised if that feels better for you. Just see where you are today. And we'll just take 3 deep breaths here, breathing into the belly, so you might feel a little bit of release in the lower back area. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Then from here, start to walk your hands over towards the left side, keeping your forehead down to the ground. You might notice that you start to get a stretch down the side body. So really stretching into that QL muscle, while also contracting the QL muscle on the opposite side. Try and see if you can keep your sitting bones pulling back so the hips aren't coming off the heels too much. Try and keep those hips in line. We'll just hold it for 3 more rounds of breath. And then after the next exhale, walking your hands back to center. And we'll just walk them over to the opposite side. And as far as you can go, make sure that there's no pain in the shoulder. And again, trying to keep the sitting bones back towards the heels, so the hips are in line. Maybe noticing here if this side feels slightly different to the other side. And then after the next exhale, just walking the hands back to center, and then slowly walking the hands up. So we'll make our way onto our backs now. We'll do a little bit of work for the psoas muscle. And you can start with your arms down by your side, palms facing down. And we can either have the legs so they're out long, or you can have the knees so they're up towards the ceiling. Whatever feels better for the lower back. And whichever option you take, we'll lift the left leg so it's up towards the ceiling. Start to try and push your lower back into the floor, so you'll notice that your tailbone starts to just tip up slightly. And we'll be working the psoas muscle by just dropping the left leg down to hover. And on the inhale, pull the navel in, push the lower back into the floor to raise. And we'll do that 10 times in total. Just dropping the leg down, inhale to raise. Exhale, dropping the leg down. Inhale, pull the navel in, raise the leg. Dropping the leg down. Inhale to raise. Like I said, you can do this with the opposite leg bent if that feels better for the lower back. You might notice that if you take this option, the leg's a bit straighter on the way up, but whichever option you take, it's working the same muscle. We've got 3 more of these. Inhale for 3, 2, 1, and then releasing the legs, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor and just window wiper the legs side to side. Towards the end, you should have started to feel a bit of heat in the hip flexor muscles. And we'll do the same on the opposite side, so arms down by the side. Taking the option of the left legs either out long or sole of the foot on the floor. And then lifting the right leg up, toes pointing in towards the knee. And a slight bend in the back of the knee. Then pull the navel in, you lower the right leg to the floor. Then inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Notice if your lower back is lifting off the floor at all. Just see if you can push it back down into the floor. Engaging the muscles in the core. Pulling the navel in. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. And release the legs again, soles of the feet to the floor, and just start to window wipe the legs, releasing any tension that you might feel in the lower back. Great. And from here, we'll take a little bit of a stretch for the hip flexor muscles. So bringing the left leg, crossing it over the right, keeping the toes pointing in towards the knee, and start to push out with that left thigh, so you feel an opening in the hips. So your first option is to stay here if you like, or you can lift the right leg, maybe threading the hands behind the thigh, maybe behind the shin. Keeping these toes pointed in towards the knee and continue to open up with that left leg. Keeping the head on the floor, so you're not coming up at all like this. Just relaxing back. And we'll just hold this for 3 more rounds of breath. And then after the next exhale, just release the legs and cross the left leg. We'll take it to the other side, so lifting the right leg, crossing it over the left, and the toes pointing towards the knees, opening up with that right leg. Stay here if you like, or you can lift that left leg, threading the hands maybe behind the thigh, maybe over the shin. Again, you might notice here whether this side feels slightly different to the other side. And just remember to keep breathing here. And then after the next exhale, just releasing the legs down and crossing the legs, and slowly start to make your way up to a seated position. And that's the end of day 6. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back for tomorrow, day 7. Have a great day. Thank you.